Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's review, we're going to be taking a look at the newly released Transformers Studio Series Voyager class KSI boss. As always, we'll take a quick look at the packaging and then we'll take an extremely detailed look at the figure himself. As you can see on the front of the packaging, much like all of the Studio Series figures, we do have a really cool CGI render. However, this isn't actually of the KSI boss, this is actually of Transformers The Last Knight Nitro Zeus. Why they've chosen to go with this particular piece of artwork when they already have the artwork for KSI boss on file, I have no idea, but nevertheless it is a really nice piece of artwork. It states that it's from the Studio Series, it is KSI boss, and that it is from Transformers Age of Extinction. The side of the packaging has yet another larger image of the Nitro Zeus, and now turning to the back of the packaging, we've got a really cool image of the KSI boss in his robot mode as well as in his jet mode. It states that he is from the Hong Kong Pursuit, and he also includes a brief bio. Commanded by the Galvatron, the KSI prototypes invade the city in pursuit of the seed. I find it rather interesting that they refer to Galvatron as the Galvatron, but nevertheless it is still a really cool introductory bio on this particular character. The other side of the packaging states that he is from the Studio Series, he is figure number 43, he is a Voyager class figure, and we have a larger image of his CGI render. Now in terms of backdrops, this particular figure comes with the exact same backdrop that the Leader class Grimlock, as well as some of the other Age of Extinction figures such as the KSI Sentry as well as Stinger came with. However, this time it has been made a lot larger in order to scale better with the Voyagers. And here we have the KSI boss out of his packaging, and as he comes packaged in his robot mode. Now, despite this figure being a complete direct repaint of the Transformers The Last Knight Nitro, this is actually a really nice looking repaint, and the additional paint applications that they've actually applied to this particular figure has actually made me consider replacing Nitro with this particular KSI boss. Taking a look at details first, as you can see, he once again has an inaccurate head sculpt. The head sculpt should only consist of the small four eyes with these antennae sections sticking out of the head sculpt rather than sticking up, and he shouldn't have the larger Cyclops eye. However, I must say I'm a massive fan of the yellow type of gold paint application they've applied to it. It's been applied really precisely and very crisp, and it really does make those smaller eyes stand out from the rest of the sculpt in order to give this figure an extremely alien look. As you can see, we can make out little mini guns on each of KSI boss's shoulders, which I do believe is accurate to both the Nitro figure as well as KSI boss from Age of Extinction. I'm a massive fan of the torso section. There is some really phenomenal detailing here, and the extra gold paint applications as well as the silver paint really help to excel this. I also really like the added touch of the blue spots throughout the sculpt. This particular KSI boss in the movie did actually have blue highlights going throughout him, so it is really nice to see Hasbro actually include those in order to break up the look and design of the figure. We've got some more mechanical detailing in the torso section. As this is exactly the same as Nitro, the arms are unchanged. They have just been repainted in a more premium look, and I must say they do look a lot better for it. I will bring out that Nitro figure in just a bit. But as you can see, it seems that they've literally just taken that figure and turned up the paint applications on it like 99%. Almost every part of this particular figure is painted, at least from the front. As you can see, the entire shin sections too have also been picked out in some really nice silver paint. It kind of loses its detail when you get to the bottom of the figure. It would have been nice if they could have painted these hoses in a gold paint. I believe Nitro actually had gold paint there, so that would have been nice. However, when you actually turn the figure around to the back, the entire back section of the figure is completely unpainted. The wings as well as the missile pods do not have any paint on them whatsoever, so it really does seem as if though they have mainly focused in the robot mode, but we never see the KSI boss in the movie transform, so I can kind of understand their reasoning for focusing solely on the look of the robot. In terms of articulation, as this is exactly the same figure as we've gotten previously, the articulation is the same. The head is on a ball joint, so it can look down as well as up quite far. It can also nod side to side. It can also look left and right on a very stiff hinge. The arms are able to rotate the full 360 degrees as well as move out to the sides, accompanied by this shoulder articulation. There is also a 360 degree rotation just above the elbow, and the elbow can bend 90 degrees on this arm. However, it is slightly restricted on this arm due to the harpoon weapon. There is no waist articulation, which is a shame. However, the legs are able to kick forwards that far and about back that far before it bumps into this tail section. They can also rotate at the thighs, and you can also do the splits all the way out, which is great to see. He does have a knee joint which can hinge 90 degrees. This section here can also fold down in order to make the look a lot more streamlined, which is great to see. And due to transformation, the feet can pivot forwards and backwards to allow this figure to look awesome in some flying poses. Now, comparing the newly released KSI boss next to the Nitro figure from The Last Knight, it really does appear that the KSI boss is a lot more of a premium figure. It almost looks as if though it is part of the movie best line, which essentially takes older figures and just gives them brand new, refreshed and updated paint applications in order to make them appear the best that they possibly can. I would have much rather of them just literally relabeled this figure Nitro. They did it with Cogman, so I'm unsure why they labelled this particular figure KSI Boss. The head sculpts are exactly the same, which once again is inaccurate, as the KSI Boss had a very different head sculpt than what we see on this particular figure, and even Nitro had a different head sculpt, so really and truly none of these figures are accurate. However, as you can see, the extra silver paint really helps to make this figure pop. It looks a lot more vibrant and interesting when compared to this figure, which was a majority very drab light grey. In terms of tolerances, they are very similar. Despite this figure now having its third release, it has held up really well in terms of quality control in the joints. The joints are actually really stiff, and unlike some of my previous reviews, I won't go into too much depth to the transformation, as I have previously reviewed this figure when it originally came out. However, I can confirm that the tolerances on these thruster sections during transformation has been greatly improved, and I haven't had them pop off once whatsoever. So overall, in terms of robot mode aesthetic and appearance, it is a vast improvement over the original Nitro figure. However, it does have some slight inaccuracies. I would have preferred it if they could have perhaps removed this arm and given us that kind of electrocution-like arm that we originally saw the KSI Boss wield in Age of Extinction, as well as swapping out the head. The head still has the Titan Master compatibility, so if you wish, you can literally pop it off, which allows for a company such as DNA Designs to do a great job in giving us a brand new head sculpt for this particular figure, as well as possibly swapping out the arms, as there is literally only a screw holding this particular arm in. And here we have the KSI Boss in his jet mode. Now, considering that we never saw the KSI Boss actually transform in the movie, this jet mode is essentially inaccurate, as there is really nothing to go by in terms of comparing it to on-screen movie accuracy. However, nevertheless, it is a really nice, awesome, very cool looking jet. And if I recall correctly, I do remember that Hasbro initially said that they based this particular jet on something from G.I. Joe. So if you are a G.I. Joe fan, I definitely think you're definitely going to enjoy this particular jet. And I am rather a fan of the colouring in this particular mode. I really love the silver paint applications that cover the entirety of the cockpit, as well as this darker translucent clear plastic that they've used for the cockpit. You can of course open it much like you could do with the Nitro as well as the Thundercracker figure, and you could insert a Titan Master or a Headmaster in there, so that is awesome to see. Flipping it to the underside, as you can see, we do have some robot kibble. However, this was evident on the original release that there isn't really much you could do about that. You've also got the missile pods, which can plug in on either side. For some reason, I can't seem to get this particular jet to sit flush. It does appear that there is something just pushing it out of place. Perhaps with a few more tries it will loosen and it will tab in, but as of yet I haven't got it plugged in all the way. I would have liked it if they could have perhaps used this silver paint throughout the entirety of this jet. I definitely think that it would have improved the overall look. However, I do like how the silver contrasts is this kind of darker grey, and turning it to the back, we've got the gun that essentially becomes the thruster. You can flip out the landing gear, which has also got some nice detailing on it as well. So overall, in terms of a jet mode, this particular figure does look really awesome. So there you go. That is my review on the newly released Transformers Studio Series Voyager class KSI Boss. Would I recommend it? Personally, if you're collecting the Studio Series, then you have to get this figure, as it does make up the numbers in the line. However, if you're happy with your original Nitro figure, or even the Toys R Us exclusive Thundercracker, then there really isn't no reason to go out and buy this particular release, at least at full price. The new silver paint deco definitely looks amazing, particularly in the robot mode. However, there are some very lazy glaring issues that do present itself when looking at the figure closely. Most noticeably, the inaccurate head sculpt, as well as the inaccurate arms and the inaccurate CGI render on the packaging. I'm not entirely sure what Hasbro were thinking when they released this particular figure. However, seeing as the KSI drones in general were really just drones in the movie, you could have this in your Age of Extinction display and it wouldn't look too out of place, considering that you could essentially army build this particular figure, and if you have the Nitro figure from the last night, then there is a place for both of them in your collection. I hope that you enjoyed this review. If you did, please let me know down in the comment section below. My next review will most likely be on the Transformers Ectotron figure, and then shortly after that I will be taking a look at the Studio Series Voyager class long haul. Thanks for watching.